One of the most anticipated NFL drafts in years. Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson are expected to go 1 and 2, but then it's the third pick with the 49ers that is currently anyone's guess. Latest reports are that the organization has been split on Mac Jones and Trey Lance. And meanwhile, mock drafts and reports have teams like the Falcons, Broncos, and Patriots all making moves to take a quarterback in the first round. NFL Network draft analyst Bucky Brooks is joining us again today. Bucky, today is the day. So here's the question. If we assume that Lawrence and Wilson are going 1-2, where do the next three quarterbacks go?
Jenny, it's anybody's guess, but we're trying to sort it out. So let's go with the San Francisco 49ers at 3. Trey Lance is going to be the pick. Trey Lance, when you go back and you study what Kyle Shanahan has said, recently he talked about wanting a quarterback that could throw it like Drew Brees but run like Lamar Jackson. Now, I would contend that maybe Justin Fields is maybe more of that, but Trey Lance gives them something that they desperately need. They need playmaking ability at that position. He can take it from under center. He can do shotgun stuff, quarterback design runs, and also do the things that Kyle Shanahan wants. I think he is the pick for the 49ers. That leaves us with the New England Patriots because I don't believe the Falcons are going to take a quarterback. Kyle Pitts appears to be the pick there. And the Denver Broncos making the trade for Teddy Bridgewater, unless there's a special guy that falls to them that they deem to be a next-level quarterback, I think they're going to take a defensive player. So that leaves the Patriots. The Patriots, in my mind, would love to have Justin Fields. Justin Fields to pair with Cam Newton. Cam Newton and Justin Fields have a history going back to when Cam Newton coached Justin Fields as a 7-on-7 quarterback. I just think that works. It also allows the Patriots to use a new age offense as they go into the 2020s. I think that works. And then the Washington football team with Mac Jones. Remember, the Washington football team has a number of Alabama players. They believe in that Alabama, what Alabama produces. They believe in the players that come out of that culture. I just think that is a nice fit having Mac Jones as the new leader of their team with so many of his former teammates already in the fold.
So you're saying that the Patriots, but they're going to have to move. I don't believe they can get, if they want Justin Fields, I don't believe they can stay where they are and get Justin Fields. So do they come up to 7, make a trade with Detroit? Do they come up to 8? I believe if Justin Fields is there at 9, the Denver Broncos are taking Justin Fields at 9.
See, now here's the tricky thing with that. I can see it being a really good pick for the Denver Broncos. I think he would fit that system. But, man, do you want to have so many young quarterbacks in that room? Now, George Paton, the new general manager, comes over, so this would be his opportunity to put his stamp on the organization if he did take Justin Fields. A lot of it depends on who wins that debate in the room. Is it Vic Fangio, the coach who's seemingly on the hot seat, who wants to win now, and a defender would probably give him a chance of winning more games this year as opposed to waiting for a quarterback to mature? Or is it George Paton saying, hey, I understand what you want, Coach Fangio, but this is a long-term investment. Let's get the quarterback now that gives us a chance to compete with the Justin Herberts, the Patrick Mahomes, and maybe even the Derek Carrs of the world. Look, it's a debate that one of these guys has to win the thing. So we wonder, will it be the general manager or will it be the head coach?
So you like Parsons at 9 or you like a corner at 9?
I think for Vic Fangio, I think the linebacker is going to be intriguing. I think Michael Parsons is a guy, look, for whatever reason, we can talk about the character and whatever things happen off the field. On the field, he is a baller. He is a difference maker and an impact player. And if you're going to take a linebacker in the top 10, you need someone who can get after the quarterback. He had 6 sacks the last time we saw it. But when you watch him blitz, he's one of the best blitzers that I've seen in a long time. And for the Denver Broncos, I just think Vic Fangio would have so much fun having an impact playmaker on the second level like Parsons.
He reminds me of bigger Devin White. You look at Devin White, when he's coming out of LSU, how sudden and impactful he was. You watching it. I'm not saying he's going to be, Devin White's unbelievable. I think Devin White's the second best middle linebacker in football right now. That's me personally. But it might be number 1, B-Wag, no disrespect, Bubba, but Devin White's coming. When you look at Michael Parsons, 6'3", 246, with that kind of speed, that kind of athleticism, pair him with Von Miller and Chubb,
That makes a lot of sense, and it makes a lot of sense in that division because you got to stop people. And I think when people are talking about linebackers and you don't want to draft them high, they're underestimating the value of a Michael Parsons because you brought up Devin White. Devin White last year had 9.5 sacks from a linebacker position. Michael Parsons can bring that kind of impact and value. I think it's a huge position. Man, he can hit, run, and cover. impact player on that defense with Von Miller and Bradley Chubb certainly gets them up to playing at a high level in that division.
Okay, so let's go back to the top. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence goes to Jacksonville, but here, Bucky, I've said all along, what are the Jets doing? Why did it have to be Zach Wilson for the last 6 weeks? Why wouldn't this be Justin Fields at number 2? Because I think we all agree Justin Fields is a little better to me than Zach Wilson. I've seen more of him against better competition. He's mentally and physically tough. He's readier to play to me than Trey Lance is. I love Trey Lance. The upside is off the charts. It's the biggest. But Trey Lance would be a great fit with the Shanahans at 3, and I've told you that for a couple of weeks now. So now it's come to fruition. But, Bucky, tell me why Justin Fields wouldn't go 2 to the Jets.
You know, man, this is simply a case of going to the ice cream shop and you prefer a different flavor. Some people like Rocky Road, some people like mint chip, and for whatever reason, the Jets are stuck on the mint chip right now with Zach Wilson. Because when I look at Justin Fields over Zach Wilson, bigger, faster, stronger, I would say that Zach Wilson is a more natural thrower, but the competition stuff does play into it. Both guys have an opportunity to be really great quarterbacks, you know, and it comes down to style. Which style quarterback do you prefer in that version of the Shanahan system? Right now, it appears that the Jets have settled in on Zach Wilson. They believe Zach Wilson may give them some of that Aaron Rodgers-like playmaking ability that they covet, and so he could be the pick at 2, even though I would contend Justin Fields can give you that and maybe even more as an athlete, because you're talking about a bigger, faster, stronger kid at the position.
Okay, so if in fact then my guy Trey Lance goes 3 to the Shanahans and Kyle Pitts goes 4 to Atlanta, to me, somebody is going to go up to 5-6 range to get Justin Fields. But you're saying that Justin Fields would fall to Belichick at 15, right?
Well, I'm saying that you may have to go up to get him, because at 5, the Cincinnati Bengals typically and traditionally never trade out. So they're probably going to take a player.
That's Mike Brown's kid.
It may be Penei Sewell. It may be a wide receiver in Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
The Miami Dolphins can take any of the remaining picks. I think when you're sitting at 6, you don't want to give that up now, because you have an opportunity to take Chase, Pitts, or Penei Sewell, whoever falls to them. So they're there. So now the natural landing point would be the Detroit Lions at 7. People will talk about taking a wide receiver, but this rebuild for them might be so massive that they can get a wide receiver later. They don't have to take one at 7. I think you have to get in front of the Carolina Panthers, because even though the Carolina Panthers have Sam Darnold, they're not necessarily locked to Sam Darnold. They haven't given him the 5th-year option. And if there's a quarterback, Justin Fields, that's sitting there, man, Matt Rule can say, hey, Sam Darnold versus Justin Fields, which one is the better guy? Look, let's take them both and figure it out in training camp. So 7 is the sweet spot. That's where you have to make the move to get the next quarterback after whoever's taking the number 3 in San Francisco.
Okay, so Shannon loves Mac Jones. I'm not sold, and apparently you're not that sold, because you have him being the one quarterback who's going to fall all the way from potentially 3rd overall to, 19th overall to Washington.
Yeah, I mean, like, here's the thing with Mac Jones. Mac Jones is an outstanding point guard distributor. I think I heard you guys yesterday talk about Steve Nash getting the ball out and kind of distributing the rock. That's what Mac Jones does. And there's a lot of value for a quarterback that can do that. Now, the reason why we talked about Mac Jones as a top 5 pick, a lot of it has been trying to connect the dots with the Shanahan and Mac Jones, because we've seen Kyle Shanahan play with similar quarterbacks and have success. But let's take that off the table. What other team is going to cover that at a high level when you may have more explosive athletes that can give you more? Bigger arm, more athleticism, more improvisational playmaking ability. Mac Jones is a guy that, look, he can win, and he can win at a high level, but it puts more pressure on you to make sure that the supporting cast supports him and gives him the opportunity to do what he does best, which is really be a pass-first point guard. He can do it, and he can win. I just think, man, if I'm getting a top 10 player, I want special. I don't know if he's special. I think he's very good. I don't see special when I watch him on tape.
So you don't see Mac Jones, if he goes to Washington, making a Pro Bowl?
I mean, I don't. I think you can make a Pro Bowl as a byproduct of your team winning. I think he can do that. I don't think that we're going to celebrate Mac Jones like we celebrate some of the other talents at the position. The way that we rave and ooh and ah over Russell Wilson or Pat Mahomes or even Deshaun Watson. He won't do it like that. He will have to be what I call an acquired taste, where he is so efficient and effective that we celebrate him like we celebrated Tom Brady and those guys. And I know that has been kind of the comparison that people link to him. But remember, it took Tom Brady time to get that because of the wins and how they were able to do it in New England. If he wins at a high level, we'll treat him like that. But I don't think it'll be just on his talent alone.
You believe, so in other words, you're saying you believe that Mac Jones is the least likely to get off script and be great. You believe these other guys can get off script with, when the play blows up, I ain't got nothing, that play ain't working, to get off script and make something happen. You believe Mac Jones is the least likely to do that because the really good guys, as you mentioned, Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, all these guys can get off script and make spectacular. Kyler Murray. So you don't believe that Mac Jones has that, and that's what makes these guys special.
Yeah, I think that's the difference, you know, because when we go back and we think about the statuesque quarterback, and I'm not doing that to be disrespectful to Mac Jones or anybody who plays the game like that. The only statuesque quarterbacks that we've seen of late that have had success are Tom Brady and then the recently retired Drew Brees. It is just really, really hard to play in today's game without a high level of athleticism. And that doesn't mean that you're a runner, but your ability to maneuver around the pocket against these superheroes that are coming off the edge. Because remember, Mac Jones is now having to deal with the Von Millers, the Khalil Macks, the Aaron Donalds, all of these guys coming off the edge that make you move in the pocket. And I would say that Mac Jones is closer to the